Here I am in Italy once again. Scarf and hat are back. It's not quite the vast weather of Mexico. I'm here staying with my good friends, Inji and Luca and Andrea. So at the moment, I've been working on the Upanishad campaign. If you've not seen it, check out the link below. So I wanted to take a break from all this self-promotion for the Sri Upanishad campaign and share a spoken word poem with you. I've got a lot of material for future albums or whatever. I've written a lot of material, but obviously my focus at the moment is the current album. But I felt like sharing one of the songs as a spoken word poem called Addiction. So here it is.
Deep in the crevice of my heart, there's a part that needs healing. A hole where it's blocked the feeling, needs cleaning. Years of covering, smothering the natural rhythm, keeps us locked up in this bodily prison. Isn't it a shame what has arisen? Hazy memories of losing our vision. We never listen, so the repetition of mistakes shakes our ambition. It starts with a thought we ought not to manifest, but we bought into illusion this will stop our distress. The body's overcome as if possessed. The heart knows it's wrong, but the mind becomes obsessed. Then the moment's over, feeling guilty, stupid, weak. That wasn't what we seek. Realizing the peak just wasn't worth the cost of forever feeling lost. Just wasn't worth the cost of forever feeling lost. I've been battling through my addiction. It just holds me back. It's my addiction. I don't want any more. Please lift me up from the floor. I only want to be addicted to you. Chasing after a mirage in the desert, a colourful collage that will lead to hurt, an entourage of fear, lust and envy, enough to drag the mind into a frenzy. Addicted to the thoughts and addicted to the senses, addicted to the thrill, ignore the expenses, addicted to the fantasy, addicted to the ego, addicted to addiction no matter where we go. One more bite, one more taste, one more touch, one more look, one more feel, one more. The numbers start to soar beyond the one intended. Each action is defended by the devil you've befriended. Learning the lessons the hard way. Knowing this feeling really can't stay. But just one more time, it'll be okay. And the cycle of addiction stays another day. I've been battling through my addiction. It just holds me back. It's my addiction. I don't want any more. Please lift me up off the floor. I only want to be addicted to you. What good can repression accomplish? Much better off tasting a higher dish, to develop higher taste and decide not to waste a flickering moment of this time in space.
Like addiction is something that affects us all really. You know, we tend to think when you say the word addiction, we tend to think like some heavy drugs or gambling or, you know, some pretty heavy stuff, but actually we find addiction in so many areas of our life. We're addicted to this world in general. It might not be such a visible detrimental habit like an alcohol addiction or gambling addiction, but it could be simply you're addicted to checking your Facebook messages 20 times a day or something, stopping you moving forward in your own projects, in your own life. Even like the mode of goodness, or, you know, a beautiful place like this, it can be quite addictive. And if we don't realize that our life's purpose is to develop something higher, to get in touch with spiritual consciousness, then we can find ourselves very easily still addicted or attached, however you want to word it, to this world. And ultimately it creates pain, because time moves along and takes away a lot of what we invest our energy, time and energy in. So we got to be careful about what we invest our time and energy in. Make sure it is that which is for our ultimate benefit. It will help us eliminate those things that lead us down the wrong road, you know, that make our life more difficult than it needs to be. And then ultimately rise higher. It's not so easy to give up a lot of our addictions. They become really deep habits. They might not be such a big deal if it doesn't stop us growing psychologically and spiritually, like that, but sometimes they can be detrimental to us. Obviously bigger addictions like gambling, alcohol, that kind of stuff, if it gets too out of hand, it can really destroy us. We see people destroyed by these kind of addictions. But even sometimes we're trying to grow in our lives, excuse me, we're trying to grow in our lives, and we got some habits in our lives that just hold us back from reaching our full potential, and that can be very painful. The way to overcome a lot of things, a lot of addictions, a lot of attachments, is to realize that we need to develop a higher taste or higher habits, better habits. Someone who doesn't have a very good supportive network when they're addicted to things, then it can be harder for them to give up because they don't have that higher taste of relationship. And so it's the same for us, maybe on not such a gross level, but if we find ourselves attached to various things in this world, then we need to develop a higher taste somehow or other, so that we're attached to spiritual things, spiritual matters, because this is ultimately what will help us move forward in our lives, in our spiritual lives. Of course, easier said than done. I can say that all I like, but really it requires the effort on our part, and being consistent, being determined. Like I say, if you have a sayatmaka buddhi, one pointed attention and direction on our goal, so that we really move forward in our lives. What I can say from my own experience though, although I'm not really an expert on addiction and attachment, when I talk a lot about chanting Hare Krishna and Kirtan, and what I find is that it does help us develop a higher taste. There's a lot of bliss in chanting their mantra, especially in a group with music, nice music, and by chanting it really helps us develop a higher taste. It might not be so visible to us at first, but the more we do it, the more we engage in it, especially wholeheartedly, really put our heart into it, put our emotions into it, it really helps a lot of bad habits to dissipate. Not saying everything goes straight away, or that I personally have got rid of all my bad habits, but I can see that it makes a big positive change in my life, to develop better habits, to go forward psychologically, spiritually, and so on. And it's an experiment I want to continue with, to really chant wholeheartedly Hare Krishna. So try it out for yourself, It's really something to be said for it. One thing I'm also addicted to, attached to, is good music. And so I'm at least trying to dovetail that addiction to music, especially hip-hop music, to spread spiritual knowledge. So I've made an album based on Sri Upanishad. You're probably sick of hearing about it by now. I really need your support. If you're interested in the album, if you'd like to hear it, if you'd like to support getting it out there so we can bring it to a very professional level, please check out the Indiegogo campaign and support, pre-order the album. I've heard the first mix and it's starting to sound really nice, a lot better than I could have done on my own, now that I'm putting it in the hands of the professionals. So that we can put all 19 songs in their hands, please support, and spread the video around, spread the campaign around to as many people as possible, and hopefully in the not too distant future, in the very near future, we'll be able to release the whole album and you'll be able to hear it, and hopefully it'll help people develop a higher taste in spiritual topics.
We approach, so he reciprocates. The meaning of that is we put up the gates between us.